Welcome to Pillars of Progress, a look at the work our government is doing as it implements the development plans for the nation. I'm Anne-Marie Ganes, and in our first story, with very little ceremony, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar formally opened the El Socorro Road North Access Roads, effectively putting in place another phase of development works along the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway. Sunil Ramjit Singh has more.
It was a simple ceremony in which Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar cut a ribbon to formally open the El Socorro North Access Roads. In addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister outlined the importance of these road developments.
In implementing the upgrade of road infrastructure, government is therefore committed to ensuring that the resulting transport system does three things. One, to meet the basic access and equity needs of our citizens. Two, offers choice, convenience, and supports economic activity. And three, is safe, resilient, and capable of being continued with minimal long-term effect on the environment. And so the Arangwes Improvement Works is a prime example of the realization of government's efforts towards these goals. The completed works will significantly reduce congestion along the highway while improving accessibility to regions north and south of the highway. In so doing, there will be, in my respectful view, tremendous positive impact on the national economy through reduced travel time, reduced vehicle operating costs, and reduced negative impact on the national workforce. The success of this project also underscores my government's view that infrastructure is the basis for developing human capital, indigenous capacity, and expanding the national skills base. And in so doing, we have witnessed the following. One, local professionals of the public sector rising to the mandate of creating designs and managing project construction in keeping with international standards and practices. Further, we have witnessed the use of innovative procurement practices that produce competition and transparency while still delivering economic project costs. We have also witnessed local contractors consistently producing timely, cost-effective, quality products. And we thank local contractor, Mr. Kusal, for taking forward our Clean and Beautify campaign. And I trust that, as Fuad said, we'll talk to him about the rest of the highway and others, of course, as we beautify Trinidad and Tobago.
For the Minister of Works and Transport, these accomplishments could not be done without the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
All way I go, I make the point that what you are enjoying these past 10, 11 months, you would never have enjoyed if you did not have the government that we have under Mrs. Persad-Bissessar. If the change had not taken place, what she has demonstrated in the People's Partnership, in the government that we lead, is that we can do plenty with little. With little or no money. You look around and you'll see what we have done, what we have achieved. And don't take my word for it. On May 24th, when the Prime Minister produces the booklet of achievements, you will see for yourself what we have done. Whether it is in Plock Road, whether it is in Tulsa Trace, Gopi Trace, whether it is in School Hill, whether it is in Tobago, wherever it is all over the country, we have been achieving. And today we are here in Sawa Barataria. Tomorrow we are in Couva. On Friday we are in Maraval. All over the country, no respecter of places or persons, we are delivering. And we are delivering for the sole cause of making the lives of our people.
The responsibility for this area is shared by two members of Parliament. One of them, Justice Minister Herbert Volney, redubbed this part of the highway.
I do not think that anyone can justify asking Minister Warner for any priority bus route pass again, because this will be the priority car route, the PCR of Trinidad and Tobago. So there will be no need to go on the bus route to get into the city of Port of Spain quickly or to leave the city of Port of Spain.
And the other member of Parliament, Deputy Speaker Fuad Khan, expressed his gratitude to the residents of the area for their patience and understanding.
Many of them have lost their businesses, but the big picture and the long picture and the long-term picture of having this access road and the removal of the traffic lights and its attendant accident-prone area, they have given up a lot to be here to allow this road to pass. And for that, I thank them very, very much.
This is the latest phase of development works along the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway, with the El Socorro traffic lights now a thing of the past.
Refurbish the Port of Spain General Hospital or build a new one at a different location. The decision about what will be done will be taken by government in a few weeks. This was the assurance given by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar on Sunday as she visited hospitals across the country.
Yeah, sure. Excuse me, Doc. Yeah, sure. They want that picture, They want that picture.
This Mother's Day, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar decided to do things differently. The major part of her day was spent with mothers at maternity wards of the various hospitals around the country. Her visit to the wards raised several issues surrounding healthcare in Trinidad and Tobago. Among them, what is to be done about the Port of Spain General Hospital. The Prime Minister told reporters that government will decide in a few weeks whether to construct a new Port of Spain hospital at a different location or refurbish the existing one. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said her visit to the hospitals would help inform the judgment process. According to the Prime Minister, if the government opts for refurbishing, this would be expected to be completed within 3.5 years. The San Fernando General Hospital is not to be left out. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said the government would also decide in June on a proposal to annex the San Fernando General Hospital, a move which will take 60% of the hospital's current patient load. She added that government is also examining the Point Fortin Hospital. As she moved from hospital to hospital, the scenes were quite similar. Lots of smiling faces, laughter, and the cries of newborns echoed throughout the maternity wards. There were several touching moments as Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar's motherly instincts took over.
How does it feel, Prime Minister? Bring back memories?
The Prime Minister chatted with the new mothers and paid attention to the concerns of nurses. She pointed out that some maternity wards were almost overflowing. For the mothers, it was a special day indeed. There was the joy of giving birth on Mother's Day and the thrill of being visited by the Prime Minister. The appreciative moms also received hampers presented to them by Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar. From Port of Spain to Scarborough, the Prime Minister made the mothers her priority. For the moms, this was a Mother's Day to remember. And a brand new state-of-the-art hematology analyzer was opened at the St. James Medical Center. The analyzer can process up to 12 blood samples at one time. Health Minister Therese Batiste Cornelis says this will speed up the length of time it takes to test blood samples.
We are here to commission the hematology analysis machine that we have recently put into place. Of course, Mr. De Coudray was very instrumental in ensuring this happens from Northwest Regional Authority. He's the Deputy Chairman. What this will do is fasten the time for analysis. Previously, when someone came in to do blood test, they would have to send it to be done, and sometimes it took even more than a day, right, to get those results. Now we have brought this new equipment, which we showed this morning, which we have 3 technicians working on this equipment where the information is entered into the system. It's completely computerized. It can take up to 12 samples at a time. That information is entered and there's multiple patients, and it's all analyzed quickly by the machine, and the results printed within 2 minutes.
The cost of this hematology analyzer center is $1.2 million, and the health minister believes it is money well spent.
This is not Regional Authority. They will tell you there are 2, one in Port of Spain and one here. But of course, other types of machines might be in the private sector. But again, what we said is that there's no reason why things that can help and are tested, tried and true cannot be used in our public system. The cost for this machine was $1.2 million. And if you look at value for money in terms of the timing, and therefore this is a National Radiotherapy Center. And they do a lot. This test is a lot of things looking at white cell blood count. And you know that's a very important blood count when you're dealing with cancer patients, looking at how the disease is progressing or not in the body. And it's even more important to the Ministry of Health, because remember our focus is the NCDs, non-communicable diseases, of which cancer is very prevalent in Trinidad and Tobago. And as such, this week I leave to go to Geneva for the World Health Assembly, and that is where the focus is on non-communicable diseases.
A hematology analyzer has also been opened at the Port of Spain General Hospital. As the People's Partnership Administration approaches its first anniversary in government, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar wants citizens to judge the performance of her team. Addressing a function to commission a new public transport service corporation bus service in Penal on Friday, the Prime Minister said her government is about improving the lives of citizens.
In a few weeks, by May 24th, our government would have been in office for one full year. This ought not to be measured by the number of months, but I think this year has to be measured by the number of citizens whose lives were impacted in a positive way by the many initiatives which have been implemented by the various ministries of government offices. And I do believe that many people still do not know the number of programs, projects, initiatives undertaken by your government, and we intend within the next couple of weeks we will have a brochure listing some of these, because even if we have to speak, it will take too long to list every single one. So we'll put it in writing and try to get it to you.
The Prime Minister noted that the new bus service will bring much-needed relief to hundreds of persons who live in the rural areas where this service will be available.
This event today, which introduces the new bus services to the constituents of Siparia, as I said, Oruj West, Oruj East, Faizabad, is very long awaited by all of us living in these areas, and will help us to ease up the hassle which we have had to put up for many years. And so the people of Queen Anne, Siparia, Rock Road, San Francisco, Massao Junction, Mondiablo, Barco, and many other areas will benefit from these services. The children of these areas can now depend on a more reliable transport to go to school. Mothers and fathers can get to and from work on time at a more affordable cost.
And Works and Transport Minister Jack Warner, who was also present at the bus launch ceremony in Penal, says the performance of the government over the past 11 months must be viewed in the context of the impact it is having on people's lives. Minister Warner says the government is working hard to deliver service to the people.
And when people ask you what we have done, you ask them not what we have done, but ask them what we have failed to do. Let them tell you what we have failed to do, and they'll tell you that the answer is nothing. We have touched the lives of almost everyone in this country. In some way, in positive ways, we have touched people's lives, and this bus service is one of those.
Several other speakers noted that the new bus service will make life easier for the residents of Penal, Siparia and environs. Among those who addressed the gathering were Minister in the Ministry of Works and Transport, Stacey Rupnarine, and Minister of Housing and the Environment, Dr. Rudal Munilal.
I am very happy about this new service, not only as MP for Oruj West, but also as someone who have been born in the Penal area and lived here for all of my life, because these areas have been long neglected, and in the rural areas in particular, it is sometimes very difficult to obtain public transportation, and it sometimes costs quite a lot. And so I understand the significance of this for you, and I know that it would benefit each and every one of you.
Today is a great day for us because our constituents, our citizens in these parts have an opportunity now to acquire the goods and services of the state, which is their right. It is their right. It is not a favor we do. It is their right to have goods and services that the state provide in our humble rural communities. I have also received complaints from citizens over the years of children having to go to school, and they have their mothers and fathers have to take money, and one may be working, one not working, and they have to pay sometimes exorbitant money by private car to send their children to school because we don't have a public bus system or service. And I brought that to the attention of the chairman, Mr. Devan Maraj, quite a few months ago. So I'm extremely pleased to be here and witness this.
Resident Mr. Solomon Moyne of Penal Rock Road told the gathering of the difficulties he encountered on a regular basis with regard to accessing transportation. Thanking the government and PTSC for the new bus service, Mr. Moyne says he can already see his own situation improving as a result of the initiative.
I'm very happy. What I want to tell you this evening, sometime I have to go to the San Fernando Hospital, and depending on most of the vehicles in our area is PH vehicles. Recently I had to go in the hospital for 8 o'clock. I didn't reach there till about 10, because in the morning time we don't have no transport. It cost me $7 to come to Penal and $7 to go, which is $14. And I am dependent on government for assistance, very hard for me. But I'm really happy today, very, very happy for this service with PTSC.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Public Transport Services Corporation, Devant Miraj, says PTSC is working to get even more buses on the roads. Mr. Miraj says when his board was appointed a few months ago, it found that hundreds of buses were in disrepair and out of service for very simple issues. The corporation undertook a massive repair exercise and put over 100 buses back into service.
When this board was appointed in November 2010, we met the PTSC with a fleet of only 190 operational buses in a fleet size of over 400. The PTSC board, with an aggressive repair and maintenance program, can now boast of having on a regular daily basis over 300 buses working in Trinidad and Tobago. And we promise to fix the rest as we expand the routes. Without the purchase of a single additional new bus, we can and are able to add routes like these today via this repair and maintenance program.
Mr. Miraj says PTSC is in the process of rebranding itself and is focused on connecting communities through reliable, affordable and safe public transportation. He says PTSC is aiming to provide the ultimate customer experience. He adds that the corporation is trying to maximize revenue by initiatives such as selling advertising spaces on buses. The company is also trying to increase efficiency by improving the industrial relations climate at PTSC. Last week, 334 PTSC workers were regularized in their positions. Motorists in Woodland and surrounding districts can look forward to an easing of traffic congestion in their area. This as a major access road has been repaired by the Ministry of Works and Transport. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar commissioned the La Fortune Pluck Road in Penal last Friday. Sherilyn Lewis has the details.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar told a gathering at Pluck Road in Penal that her government is committed to developing a transportation system and road network that will improve the quality of citizens' lives.
This road, as Stacey would have told you, marks a milestone in the transformation of the national road network and underscores our government's commitment to the development of a transport system that will, one, meet the basic access and equity needs of citizens, and it will also offer choice, convenience and support economic activity, and that is safe and long-lasting.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar says this new road will serve as a catalyst for the development of the area.
Another successful project undertaken by the Pure Unit and of course by the People's Partnership Government. The success of this project reinforces our belief that infrastructure is the basis for developing human capital, indigenous capacity, and expanding the national skills base. In so doing, I am advised that the efficient in-house design, engineering, and project management services of the Pure Unit of the Ministry of Works has saved the government significant cost in respect of fees. And secondly, that the competence and professionalism of the contractor in executing the project has also resulted in a cost-effective quality product delivered in a timely manner. So let's thank the Pure Unit of Ministry of Works and the contractor on this project, Jusanco Papers Limited.
The Prime Minister says top of the agenda for the Ministry of Works and Transport is the creation of new access routes.
The creation of new road infrastructure to minimize traffic through central business districts, as well as to provide additional routes to key locations. An ongoing project in this regard is the St. Helena Bypass Road, and a proposed project is a new road from Barrackpore to Gaspereau. Thirdly, we are looking at reinstatement and stabilization of slopes, management of the consequences of land slippage to ensure that there is no interference with communities' links to the remainder of the country. One of these projects is along the Paparoo Road, Barrackpore, and proposed projects include landslip repairs in Vistabella, Kumutu, Toko, Princestown and Matura.
She emphasized that government is paying close attention to quality of the work being done.
Mr. Warner was telling me he didn't just pave the roads. They also put in the box drains, very important, because that erodes the roads each time. You just pave or you paint it black with asphalt. We know a lot about that in these areas, don't we? They just take the tar, paint over the road, so in a very short time it's gone. None of that under the People's Partnership and these two ministers from the Ministry of Works.
The new La Fortune Plock Road cost $17 million to construct. Sherilyn Lewis reporting for Government Information Services.
The location for the Point Fortin water taxi terminal has been decided. NIDCO engineers have decided that the terminal will be located at Clifton Hill Beach. According to a media release from NIDCO, the engineers selected Clifton Hill on the following criteria: water, depth, Town and Country Planning Division approvals, health, safety and environmental issues, and site access. The Petrotrin Jetty site, the release states, is unsuitable as there is currently an active oil well located at that location. The release added that NIDCO is currently seeking all necessary environmental approvals to take the project forward. Engineering designs for the new facilities are expected to be completed by September this year, following which construction works will begin. On February 21st, Minister Warner and his technical team visited Point Fortin to view the Clifton Hill site and a proposed location for the new Point Fortin Hospital. The issue of Red Jet's accreditation is to be treated as a matter of priority by the new Air Transport Licensing Authority Board. Board members received their instruments of appointment by Minister of Works and Transport, Jack Warner. This was a busy day for the Works and Transport Minister. Among his official engagements was the presentation of instruments of appointment to members of the Air Transport Licensing Authority and the National Maintenance Training and Security Company Limited. The new ATLA chairman, Mr. Michael Mohammed, immediately addressed the Red Jet issue.
Concerning that matter, the members of the board were given an update by the Honourable Minister, the Permanent Secretary, and the Madam Minister with respect to that issue. And the board will be meeting tomorrow to discuss those issues which are of critical importance.
Works and Transport Minister Jack Warner also made it clear that Red Jet is being dealt with. He said the government was well on its way to having all of the relevant boards appointed.
And you would have heard us say last week that the first priority of this board is to resolve the Red Jet matter, to look at Red Jet's application and to make a proposal or a request or recommendation to this ministry so we can take it to Cabinet on Thursday. And therefore, I did tell them that their first issue to be dealt with must be Red Jet issue.
Minister Warner spoke highly of the new board.
Secondly, also, I want to make the point that this board is one of those where we have a wide variety of skills and competencies. I spoke to them early on and I was amazed at the depth we have in terms of competence, skills, and most importantly, devotion, commitment to service. We are fortunate to have you, and I want to commend all of them for having accepted the call.
He gave the assurance that the board would have his full support and the support of his ministry. Mr. Mohammed, meanwhile, had this to say about his appointments.
I am honored to serve as chairman of this board, and I can assure you that the members of the board have a wealth of experience and they are well qualified in their respective fields. As such, I can give you the assurance that this board will meet and treat with all the issues that we have in front of us, and there will be equity and fairness in our dealings. I thank you very much.
A major workshop described as a visioning workshop for government leaders began in Port of Spain today. The new workshop is designed to look at the building capability for government transformation. At the opening ceremony, the Minister of Public Administration, Senator the Honorable Rudrawati Nan Ramgoolam, spoke of the need for regional governments to deliver on time and effectively.
The main reason being that as small islands developing states, our governments are faced with a dual dilemma. On the one hand, we have to secure the sustainable and prosperous growth of our respective countries, and on the other, we need to build resilience to ensure that we can and will survive in an increasingly competitive global environment. Admittedly, this presents a major challenge for Caribbean states, many of which are resource-constrained, with economies largely founded on one or two core sectors. In the case of Trinidad and Tobago, we are fully aware that our present petrochemical industry, though profitable, now provides no guarantee for future security. As explained by Dr. Harold Ravesh, a lecturer at the Stevens Institute of Technology, California, United States, in a lecture delivered at the Hyatt Regency Trinidad Hotel, Port of Spain, on March 29, 2010, and I quote, open quotation, "The OPEC nations have no capacity to create wealth. They are not inventing. They take their petrodollars and build buildings like Dubai, and when the economy goes, it collapses. If Trinidad and Tobago is stuck in the oil model, it will be stuck in this for a long while," end quote. It would be foolhardy to ignore such pronouncements, and the government has identified as a key objective the diversification of the national economy. Indeed, the need for economic diversification is a challenging, that is, common theme to all of the small states that comprise CARICOM sub-region. If we are to survive, let alone prosper, our countries must adopt innovative strategies for improving competitiveness, and moreover, we must do so in a sustainable manner. Meeting these challenges demands being innovative in traditional industries, as well as building competencies in higher potential emerging economies. Concomitantly, regional governments are also tasked with meeting the expectations of an increasingly educated, sophisticated citizenry. With little tolerance for substandard service, our citizens expect that in interacting with government, they will receive service that is prompt, user-friendly, integrated, and convenient. Ladies and gentlemen, I must affirm that they deserve nothing less.
And that's where we leave it for this edition of Pillars of Progress. Thank you for joining us. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to look at our government at work.